How's it going, guys? Brian Cusco here at Triple B. Reticulated pythons are the longest snakes in the world. Are they vicious killing machines capable of swallowing a human whole? Or are they one of the most intelligent and personable snakes on the planet? Today, we're gonna find out. You're watching Triple B TV. Reticulated python, Python reticulatus, or as they're known by many an adoring retic keeper, Retic. Now about their name, Retiarius was a Roman gladiator who was named for the net that he used as his main implement of attack in the Colosseum. Reticulatus literally means that which is formed like a net. And this is where reticulated python gets its name, because of the net-like appearance of its dorsal pattern. Retics today can be found with all sorts of color and pattern mutations, as well as different sizes from dwarves to super dwarves and the gigantic mainland animals. Love them or hate them, they are a snake that commands respect. Their impressive size has lent itself to many stories, legends, and myths. To me, they're some of the most responsive and rewarding snakes I've ever worked with. There was a time when I would tell myself, I'll never keep a snake like that. I would look at them through the glass at the East Bay Vivarium and think, no, that's just too big. And the first time I saw one out of the cage wasn't until a few years ago at the Pomona Reptile Super Show. Alan Perry was working at Prehistoric Pets booth at that time and was showing me a golden child morph, which I was very impressed with. I was about to handle it when it latched onto his finger and wouldn't let go. I said, I think I'm gonna pass today. And it was actually that same day that I picked up the queen, who is the clown-pied ball python that I keep here now. And it wasn't until I was visiting Prehistoric Pets for the first time that I got to handle my first retic. I fell in love instantly. The way they move their eyes, their curious nature, the way they look at you, you can feel them thinking. Today I share my space with 6 amazing retics, each with their own unique personalities. Now let's take a look and see how they're doing. You just really couldn't have had a better day for this. 80 degrees here in the shade. Each one of the snakes is shed out. Nobody's in shed. I know there's been a lot of you waiting for this particular update. I've been waiting for it myself, but I'm glad we're here now because we couldn't have had a better day. Well, since I got him in my hands already, we might as well start with Junior. He is a motley golden child het albino. If you like iridescence, Junior's where it's at. He's got some really amazing iridescence. Now in this particular light, you can't really make out Junior's iridescence, but if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see plenty of pictures of him where the lighting is just absolutely showing off his, he's almost like a white-lipped python with how iridescent he is, but just a beautiful reticulated python. Let's check out the other male I've got here. This is Junior. He is a super dwarf reticulated python, and he's a normal. I like to have one wild type animal for every species that I keep, just as a kind of ambassador to what they look like in the wild. He's it for reticulated pythons. Small, but powerful. He's bit me quite a few times. He was very defensive and very flighty when he first got here. He still moves pretty quickly and he's still not completely at ease, but he hasn't bit me in a long time now, which I'm pretty happy about because I like all my snakes to be really calm. He's got that awesome net-like pattern like we talked about, that orange eye, that classic orange eye, but just a beautiful snake and really now a really well-behaved snake too. So he's just fantastic. This here snake is Buttercup. She is a lavender genetic stripe, possibly tiger. And I think she might be a tiger. She's got this little curve in her tongue that leads me to believe that she is. And she is probably the most neon looking retic here. Her colors are just ridiculously bright. And she's actually on par with Halo for how mellow she is. She's extremely mellow. She might actually be taking the lead over Halo as the most mellow reticulated python here. Pretty freaking cool. Just look at the head on this girl. Now I want you to pay attention to how big this girl is right now. Take a look at how big this snake is and check this out. Now this here is Betsy Ross, and she is one of the reasons that we're trying to do this update outside now. The little closet's getting a little too big to be holding these snakes and trying to film a show at the same time. Now remember I told you to pay attention to how big that Buttercup was there a second ago? Pay attention to how big this girl is right now. So when her, Buttercup, and Betsy got here, they were the exact same size, and Buttercup's only actually 2 months younger than this girl. I've had them on the exact same feeding schedule. Obviously, bumping her up when she was ready for it, and just bumping Buttercup up when she was ready for it. So you can kind of see that genetic stripe must be a locality that originated with a dwarf species, because the difference in size here is just ridiculous. Now, any of you that are experts on retics probably figured out a long time ago that I am not. I just love the way they are. They're very rewarding snakes to work with. I learned what I have about them, but like I said, I'm no expert. I'm assuming the genetic stripe comes from some kind of dwarf locality, and that's why Buttercup is so much smaller than Betsy Ross, even though they're only 2 months apart and we're set on the same feeding schedule to start with. Truly, truly an incredible animal. Now, her name's Betsy Ross because she was born on the 4th of July. All right, couple more snakes to go here. This is Patsy LaRue, named after my wife's grandmother because she was so gracious in letting the snake get delivered to her house down there in Long Beach. She's a Phantom Sunfire Het Purple, and she's probably one of the more curious retics here. And she actually will go and curl up in a stranger's lap on the grass, which is really, really awesome. Of course, she's never done it with me, but she likes to do it with other people. For some reason, when it's me, she just wants to keep going. She's like, no, I'm not staying here with you. I need to find somebody else. Gorgeous snake, gorgeous snake. Absolutely amazing. But I know who you guys are really waiting for, so we're gonna bring her out right now. All right, if these snakes get any bigger, which they will, I'm gonna have to hire me a full-time cameraman. Anybody out there in the market for a cameraman job? Let me know. She gotta live on the Central Coast. Now this is Halo, our #1 retic here. But you know, honestly, there are no real words for Halo. You just gotta bask in her beauty, sit here in the silence and just enjoy her presence. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope if you didn't already, you have a little more love for this amazing species now. Next week, we're going to take a closer look at snake anatomy. Until then, you've been watching Triple B TV. Y'all take care. I would look, he is a, something you guys probably didn't know is that my wife's nickname is actually Halo, and that's partially how she has her name. Partially, not really, but I just think it's an interesting coincidence.